I swear on my life, I'll never forget the day I saw him. Not because of his perfect smile or broad chest, but because when the truth came out, I wished I could unsee what I saw. They called him Obinna, the most handsome man that ever walked into our village. His skin was smooth like freshly peeled ube, and when he laughed, the whole market seemed to stop and listen. The women giggled like children around him, while the men shook their heads and muttered in jealousy. I won't lie, I too felt a strange pull when he looked my way. But beneath that charm was something none of us could imagine. The whispers started small. First, they said he had no family anyone could trace. He just appeared one day, renting a room in Neckar's compound near the palm grove. Then came the stories. Women who spent the night with him either refused to speak of it or left the village altogether. Still, no one paid attention because, well, gossip in our village was like rain during the planting season, constant and unavoidable. Everything changed the day he caught Amoka's eye. She was the daughter of a wealthy farmer, proud and beautiful in her own right. Men had tried and failed to win her heart, but Obinna. He needed just one glance, and she was his. Before long, she was sneaking out of her father's compound at night to be with him. It didn't take long for the whole village to start talking. One night, curiosity got the better of me. My cousin Chibuzo and I decided to follow Amoka after we saw her tiptoe past the yam barns. The night was quiet, with only the sound of crickets filling the air. We crept behind her, careful not to make a sound. She made her way to Obinna's room and slipped inside. Chibuzo wanted to leave, but I told him to wait. Something didn't feel right. We stood there for what felt like forever until suddenly, we heard a low hiss, like a snake slithering on dry leaves. My heart pounded in my chest. I grabbed Chibuzo's arm. "Do you hear that?" I whispered. He nodded, his face pale in the moonlight. "It sounds close," he muttered. We crept closer to the window, peering through a small gap in the wooden frame. What we saw will haunt me for the rest of my life. Obinna stood in the center of the room, his back to us, and Amoka sat on the edge of the mat, her eyes wide with terror. And then we saw it, a snake, thick and gleaming, where his manhood should have been. It writhed and hissed as if it had a mind of its own. Amoka screamed, scrambling to get away, but Obinna grabbed her wrist. "You cannot leave now," he said, his voice cold and distant. Chibuzo stumbled backward, and I clamped a hand over his mouth to keep him quiet. "We have to go," I whispered urgently, but my legs refused to move. Inside, Amoka fought harder, knocking over a clay pot in her struggle. The noise must have startled Obinna because he turned toward the window. His eyes glowed, not with human emotion, but something darker and inhuman. That's when we ran. The next day, the village was in an uproar. Amoka's father stormed to Neckar's compound with a group of men, demanding answers. But Obinna was gone, as if he had vanished into thin air. The room he rented was empty, no mat, no clothes, nothing but a lingering chill that made even the bravest men uneasy. No one saw Amoka for days after that night. When she finally reappeared, her once bright eyes were dull, and she spoke to no one. The village elders gathered and declared Obinna a spirit, a demon sent to punish us for reasons we would never understand. They performed cleansing rituals, and the story of the snake man became one parents told their children to keep them from wandering at night. But I know the truth. I saw it with my own eyes. Some nights, when the wind howls through the palm trees, I swear I can still hear that hiss, reminding me that not everything beautiful is safe, and some secrets are better left buried.